All right, welcome to Align Trading. Going over today's SPY recap and live analysis before taking a look at what to be watching into tomorrow. So first thing that I explained here in the morning in the pre-market brief for Discord members was you had to be paying attention to the 5 and 20-day moving average that we had now broken down from with the gap down in the morning, and we're now opening close to this previous low right here below that 5 and 20, right, that were above right here. We didn't get to take it through them, but you can see here in the morning we were able to take this down and grab this prior liquidity that I have been talking about for a few weeks now. The time will come when we finally do break down below this level. Couldn't do it quite here, and we were looking for that inverse cup and handle, and you see the move to the downside. Now, as I explained in the morning, right, with breaking out of this white algorithm right here and being below the 5 and 20, we will now want to see this orange selling continuation, which you see is just nonstop here first thing in the morning. So great move to the downside off of that early. And then with this white algorithm, just so you can see where that is coming from, right? This is from this larger channel, and we can see how we're starting to form that head and shoulder, grabbing this liquidity right here. We start trying to head down right here and looking with that green algorithm that I've talked about as well, right? You can see that green algorithm right here that forms these head and shoulders on the way down. So we will continue to look for this. And if we do see this cup close right here, so we'll take a look at this now on the 1 minute chart and go over the trades intraday and kind of what was going on here with this green and white tapering and how we were eventually able to form this inverse cup and handle as well as this head and shoulder. There are actually two in here, both trades you could have scalped, but the best trade obviously, right, is that move down in the morning. Now you can see here as well, right, with this tapering, if you are looking for that bounce, well, we need to be seeing it actually breaking out right here. Fails right there, and then once again, right, you see it fail to break out of this algorithm. Again, we cannot head back up grabbing this liquidity right here that we will go over on the 1 minute chart, and you see how we finally break out of this blue, right, to the downside, which we could not do right here either. And then finally that downside break. It was at the end of the day, so most of us missed it. We had already called it good, but if you did take it right. All right, so let's go over this here in the morning. You can see right off of the open, we have this orange selling algorithm right there. So aggressive selling, right? You see those aggressive sellers on the volume. From there, we get the bounce at where the previous low close of this inverse cup right there. So right at 574.40, slight bounce, and then we see the structure off of it, which is an inverse cup as well as head and shoulder. We have our green algorithm right there along with our white tapering, and you see how we get that second breakdown to the downside. So you could have taken this down right here, or if you missed it right off of the open, look for that head and shoulder. Say you missed that again, well, you have your green and your white algorithm once again with another head and shoulder, as well as this inverse cup and handle within that white, another micro head and shoulder. So continuous moves to the downside right there, like I explained here, several entries that you could have taken. So right here, I'm explaining that if we do head back up, you will need to be seeing us breaking out of this blue algorithm. Same thing right here. So if you were looking for us to head back up, right, we do not see that continuation. And same thing right here. We cannot even close that cup with this blue and yellow algorithm. We do not see that handle and then trying to break back out. Same thing right here. You would want to see that cup, and that does not form. So once again, you see you have that head and shoulder to the downside, and you get this inverse cup and handle once again off of this white, another inverse cup and handle, and just continuous moves down as I'm explaining within this white right here. Again, another head and shoulder, so plenty of scalps here just in the morning. Now at this point right here, after this last move down, you see how we start to form this head and shoulder within the white right here, but it is just no follow through. When it's time to break that low of day, we close that inverse cup, and when it is time for the handle right here within that white, you see we cannot continue and instead begin forming this larger handle right here until we form this head and shoulder, which I will show you. And you can see on the 30-minute, right, it's just within this green and white algorithm. So we continue to see this tapering, right, rejecting that white algorithm, but we're also not breaking out of it either until end of day. Now, with all this that was going on right here, if you were scalping it, I was explaining that you have to pay attention to this level right here. And then obviously that low of day, right, you can see how we consolidate within this range. So if you are looking, right, for the head and shoulders to the downside, you're catching these entries. You have to be protecting, taking your profits at these levels. The same thing if you took this on the way up right here because of the blue and yellow controlled selling, and you see that head and shoulder form inverse, you see that cup handle and then larger cup. Well, you want to protect at that cup right there, or if you are scalping that handle, right, you got to take some profits there at the breakout because you can see how it is a trap and there are these head and shoulders forming. But again, close that inverse cup, again another inverse cup, and we just cannot form that handle to see the continuation to that low of day. So again, as I'm explaining, with being within this range right here and the green and white algorithms on the 30-minute chart, which are these right here that I explained you have to be paying attention to, and you can see right how this does start to form, and you will see how we do finally get this breakdown with that head and shoulder right there. Took some time to form, but eventually, right, you start to see that forming. You also have that entry within here as well. Could have taken it off of this head and shoulder. Plenty of entries on the way down. You see that inverse cup and handle forming, and then again should have taken profits and protected at the close of the inverse cup low of day, because you can see how we start to chop once again. So at this point right here, after the close of the inverse cup, and we do start to chop right here, I explained that you have to be paying attention to this tapering as well as the orange selling continuation. So right, we're looking to see if this orange selling continuation continues, right? We did form that head and shoulder as well as that inverse cup. So we are looking for that handle, which does not continue. We are within this tapering, and you can be looking for this to be forming right here, right, as we are tapering. So you see that move back to the upside. We close the cup once again at this level. We do not form our handle, and we reject back into range right here. Pop back up, right? This is some end of the month stuff that I talked about in the Discord. I wasn't a part of it, not anything that I want to be trading right here, but if you were, I mean, this is a great trade to the downside right there, breaking that low of day finally, and you would have had a very nice trade. You can see that inverse cup and handle within that white algorithm as well. But again, should have been well done for the day right here and not even have worried about any of this in between. Here at the end of the day, didn't even update the algos, but you could see, right, we are within this pink algorithm right there as well as this white, and look how that algo forms again, which is that green and white on the 30 right there, forming that head and shoulder. You can see it right again right here within that green and white algorithm. We form that head and shoulder. This one, however, does have continuation. We have that volume that I talked about. If volume does come in below low of day, you see those sellers, right, end of month stuff, but again, could have watched for it if you were paying attention. Now going over what to be watching into tomorrow. So again, with the blue and yellow selling that we have right here, we have to be watching if we do grab this liquidity, because I'm about to show you on the daily chart we reached the bottom Bollinger. I talked about this in yesterday's video that with the 5 and 20 day moving average, excuse me, we would have a major move off of this. We've been waiting for it for a few days, and the target was either going to be this upper or bottom Bollinger. Now, I did not see this happening in one day right here, maybe two, but we finally reached that bottom Bollinger. So, got to understand that we can trade below the bottom Bollinger, but we usually don't for too often, and we will see some sort of snapback. Now, with that, we will want to see the 5 continuing to cross below the 20. Maybe we get a retest of it within the next couple of days as we are trying to close this inverse cup now. So pay attention if we do head a little bit lower, maybe 565 or so to close that cup. And then from there, we start to bounce, right? And then form that to head lower, or we reverse back above those moving averages like we have seen countless times. Now, tomorrow we could gap down more as we did have stronger selling right here. There were also some earnings after the bell. So in the case that we did continue to see this selling, maybe we open at 565, whatever the case may be. And I will show you on a larger view, but right, if that does happen, pay attention as we do have this liquidity above, and we could try to form something like that. Or if we do open close to down here, pay attention if we do start to form some sort of inverse cup, regular cup back to that 571.74 level, and then do start breaking back to the upside right there. Maybe we go retest this level again. It's just several things, right? Got to be watching, but you can see how you can see that within these algos. So as I'm explaining, with this move further to the downside, we are breaking out of that green and white at the end of the day. And if we do want to continue to this 565, 566 area, pay attention to that, as from there we can start to form this, or in the case that we do open higher, you never know, right, in the morning, pay attention for something like that to continue to the downside before there is some sort of reversal. But that will be all for the video, so thank you everyone for watching, and I will see members in the morning.